Okay, so I have been waiting to open this, but I cannot wait anymore. I am super excited. This was a gift from my husband for our anniversary. I have been wanting to get some Regina Watercolor palettes, but the one that I wanted had been sold out for quite some time. So here we go. Also, please forgive us if there's a bunch of noise. Our children are outside, and who knows how long they will remain outside. Am I opening this wrong already? I am. Okay. All right. Opening a box is so exciting. Oh, terrible. It's so pretty. Oh, look. Did you order this gift wrapped? It's beautiful. I'm so excited. Okay, we're looking at this for the first time together. Oh my, it's so pretty. Oh, it's the whole sampler set. So it comes with a fine, ultra fine point Sharpie. I don't even know what I'm looking. Oh, I think these are the paints. Let's see. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Regina Watercolor does all of these mixes themselves. Actually, I should open this first. About the paint. The pans are sticky. Okay. Now, from what I understand, they are, the reason they're sticky is that they're made with honey. Dilute the paint with water. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Okay, here we go. These are all the colors that come with the sampler palette. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. It says refrigerate 1 to 2 hours before unpackaging to reduce stickiness. Well, I'm not bothered by stickiness, so. Okay, and there is a little round brush. I'm probably a 2 or a 4 here that comes with. I honestly am not certain what this is for. Maybe to get the wedge the things in. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Make something beautiful. And I'm not sponsored or anything or an affiliate. I just really, really wanted it. As a matter of fact, I saw Emily Artful with one of these palettes and really, really loved it, and have essentially been waiting for almost a year. Oh, that is so nice. Okay, now here is the palette. And the reason that this is different than most palettes is that this side here, you can't really see, but I'm trying, there we go. It's glass, and it's patented or patent pending. Essentially care of the item. Oh, and now we get to our amazing paint. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a magnet right here. Let's see. I don't know. I thought this was a magnet. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, and it's labeled. So you know which one goes where. Oh, these look so luscious. Three, 4, 5. Oh man, I just cannot wait to start painting with these. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put all of these in where they need to be, and I will come back. Okay, so I thought you might want to see, now that I've got most of them put away, the process, because I was a little confused at first. Okay, so they are all on these little sticky pieces. Now, if you can see, these aren't full half pans. These are sampler colors. And I'm curious to see how long this will last, but the back of the tray here is magnetic, and they sit in there. And the pages are numbered, and then you get a separate card, which I showed before, and I'll bring back here in a minute, that show you the numbers. But if for any reason these get moved or jumbled or jostled, I'm not sure how I'm gonna remember what color is which. So let's just hope that these stay exactly where they need to be. I guess I could probably write the numbers on the back of the little tin here, because if you can see, a lot of the colors look similar before they're wet and put to paper. Sorry, the kids and husband are playing outside so that I can have a moment to video this. Okay, so this is the last one, and that is a number 37. And I have nails, so it's a little complicated to get these in. There we go. So I was hoping this might fit in here. Maybe if I did it the other way. Anyway, this is the incredible sampler palette. Oh, I love it so much. And as you can tell, they look wet. They're not wet, they're just very sticky. From what I understand, it is because it's made with honey. And I think I heard that it's because they want to allow it to be re-wet easier. Maybe I made that up. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, there is the gorgeous palette when it is all assembled. And I have the round brush here. And you bet your boutonniere that I am going to keep this to put this beautiful palette in when I'm not painting with it. So, as I said, each row was numbered as they were packaged. And so it coordinates with the row there. And so I'm keeping these just for a minute until I am ready to swatch, because I also have the colors. And so I'm gonna make my own little swatch. I've actually never done a color test swatch before because, I don't know, I guess I'd just rather use them. And for me, I'm just so like immediate gratification girl that I just can't seem to stand the weight of getting to actually use them, and making swatches seems to take up the time. So I will, though, for this process, because these aren't cheap, but I think that they, from what I have seen so far, they're really incredible. Again, Regina Watercolor. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start making my color swatch template, and then I'll come back through and get moving on the actual painting of the swatches. Gosh, I totally zoned out there because I'm reading all these colors and I'm super excited. And I think these 10, or excuse me, 11, the first 11, I think those are the core primary colors. I could be mistaken. So that would be these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll go ahead and get back to you in a moment. So here I begin the process of making my swatch sheet. It's not terribly exciting to watch. I'm going to go ahead and cut out here and after a few colors. However, the one thing that I will say is that using these colors, the paint itself is extremely creamy. I can't think of another way to explain it. It's just a nice, rich feeling. The colors are just incredibly vibrant. The yellow itself, I just loved. A lot of times it's difficult to get a good, vibrant yellow. But the process of making this swatch sheet, I'll have to say, I had been avoiding it most of my life, mostly because I just really love getting to painting. There, I go ahead and I skipped the majority of the painting so that you didn't have to watch me paint every color. But here they are in all of their glorious, luscious vibrantness. I am just in love with these. Now, I will show you the difference between a regular metallic paint pan, which is where you do a lot of your mixing, or at least where I do a lot of my mixing, versus the Regina Watercolor here on the right, the glass pan. Now, you may not be able to necessarily tell by first glances, but when you look at the metallic paint pan, it beads up and separates, and you kind of have to chase the paint around the pan. Additionally, as I said before, these are Winsor & Newton half pans. I bought them and then added them to a metallic pan that I liked. I have my kneaded eraser here, and I'm rolling it across the paper to pull up any loose graphite from the pencil. You can still see your outline, but there's not an additional section of thick graphite. I am spraying down the watercolor, and I'm getting to painting.
Okay, so here we are, rolling out the kneaded eraser, getting some of that graphite off, and we are getting into the Regina Watercolor. I have to say, these paints are really great. One of the first things that I noticed, obviously, was the creamy nature and texture of the pigment itself. The paint is just really luscious and thick and creamy. I keep saying that, but it's really what I can use to describe the way this paint feels. When I use other palettes and pigments, when I put the brush in, it takes a while after spritzing it for it to feel like this soft and kind of pliable. And this pretty much was right away ready to be painted. And in addition, I feel like it stayed wet longer. I didn't have to keep spritzing down the palette like I normally do as watercolor dries in the pan. And also, while I was painting, I felt like the paint on the page stayed wetter and more active longer. Now, again, as I said, I'm using the wet on dry technique, which mostly means that the paint is wet as it goes on dry paper. There are differing techniques that you can use. This is just the one I was using for this review. So as I'm painting, I'm realizing that it's a lot easier to blend because the paint and the pigment stays active. Jump ahead to the almost finished apple. And really, I just love the activity of this paint with itself. The way that it blends and moved instead of pushing it around on the page. I feel like it was really meant for this cotton paper. I'm not saying that the Winsor & Newton isn't and doesn't work well. I just feel like the Winsor & Newton tended to absorb into the paper really fast and dried quickly. And with the Regina watercolor, it felt like the pigment stayed pliable and workable and was able to be re-wet fairly easily, which allowed for a different, easier blend. I think they're both really, really great pigments, but it was just really awesome to work with this Regina's watercolor pigment. It's luscious and vibrant colors. Now, in addition, I have to be fair and make a disclaimer that I believe mine had 42 colors I'm trying to see here, and the Winsor & Newton only had the 12 colors. So obviously I had a far greater variety of colors while I was painting with the Regina. And with the Winsor & Newton, just I had to make my own colors. So really, I just loved these watercolors. They just feel elegant to work with. They feel pretty bougie, if I may say so. And it's maybe not something that I would work with every day, but there they are, side to side. The paint is still wet, but from what I am able to see, it looks like it's much easier to see the blendability of the Regina watercolor, whereas the Winsor & Newton on the right seem to dry kind of splotchy. And maybe that's just how I used it, but the Winsor & Newton there, the colors didn't blend as easily and they dried quickly, so it made it kind of difficult to blend. Whereas the Regina watercolor here stayed movable and usable for the majority of this quick apple paint. So there is my review for the Regina watercolor sampler palette, sampler pack. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments below what you've experienced and whether or not you like this. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Take care. Love you. Bye.